a completely different role from what people are expecting from The Office.
Yep.
Was that part of the draw for you?
Probably. I mean, not really the main draw. It's something that maybe be an ancillary benefit, but I actually came from a huge military family. So I have aunts and uncles and cousins who have served and are currently serving. So I've always wanted to do something like this. And this story in particular was so important because I have to admit I was the one who is embarrassed to say I didn't know anything about it. And I think a lot of people are going to be feeling that way because I thought I knew everything there was to know about Benghazi. I watch the news, I read the newspaper. So when I read the book and hadn't heard anything about this, it was shocking. And I think that there's something wrong there that everybody believes, most people believe, that the story of Benghazi is political. And that this is actually what happened the night of. So for me, there was an emotional connection there. And so that's why I did the movie. But I love when people say it's very surprising to see me in the role. I take it as a compliment. But for me, it's not about comedy or drama. It's about where's the good story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also feel like you guys have done a smart move where, like, the men's health cover really kind of defined, like... It's
Change.
It's a drunk because just you don't know.
Exactly.
And, like, I feel like the people at, like, Marvel are probably being like, oh...
We missed him.
He could have been our Captain America.
Yes, but I'll be like Dark Captain America or something.
Right.
In YouTube videos.
Right. So if MCU, like, comes back and is like, so, John, you and Emily busy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right.
That'd be great.
So what was the most difficult part of shooting this film?
You know what's interesting? Everybody says, was it getting in shape or was it the action scenes? To me, it was the responsibility of knowing that we were telling this true story, the responsibility of getting it right. It actually weighed heavily on us every single day because not only were a lot of the real guys on set with us, so they were there to watch you if you screwed it up. But for me personally, the highest priority was getting to meet the real Jack Silva, the guy I play. And he was gracious enough to let me meet him and was so generous within 5 minutes of knowing him, just said, ask me anything because we really need this story to be told, but we need it to be told right. And that, right there, he placed the responsibility in our hands to do it right. And so that's how we felt the whole time.
Well, especially because he has declined to be a part of the movie's promotional process. So basically, you're being entrusted almost entirely with representing him.
Yep.
So that must have been really intense.
It's huge, yeah. And not only from the military standpoint about what they went through that night, but also to represent him as a man. I got to know his family. I got to know his kids. And, I saw what an incredible husband and father he was. That's also what I wanted to portray there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of facets to it that... I will be the only representation that people have of him, and it's a lot of pressure. I hope I did it justice.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I was really blown away.
Oh,
I was
great.
actually saying that watching it, I felt like I was in that place.
Right.
Which, it's informative and terrifying, frankly. I'm curious, was there like a day on set that was the most, like, what was kind of the most complicated day on set for you?
Probably the consulate being on fire when we walked into that fire, because I certainly have never done anything like that. That building was legitimately on fire. And so, it's a trust level that you had with Michael and with Badge that we were all going to do this and we were all going to do it safely, but it's a real fire. And so complicated, I think, because I had never expected that in my life I would walk into a burning building. So that was pretty crazy.
That's not something they go over with you in acting school.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. This is how to go into a burning building. Don't get burned.
Here's the technique.
Right.
Don't die in a fire.
Right.
So Badge actually said that the scene on top of the roof with you and he discussing kind of that downtime in between scenes was what really drew him to the script. Was that a moment to you that was particularly of interest,
100%,
or was there...
100%. It's actually what connected me most to the movie because obviously, like I said, I didn't know the story. And I think I'm one of many. And what it was is hearing about a guy who was talking about his kids. And having just had a child myself, she was about 1 when we went to go shoot, I could connect immediately to a man who was conflicted about whether or not to go into battle and to go into these high-risk situations at the risk of losing his or losing himself and leaving his family alone. So those became extremely powerful scenes for me. And also, I think those are the scenes, and I'm sure Badge agrees, those are the scenes that give the movie the heart that it needs, not from a storytelling perspective, but actually from telling these guys' perspective. Because one of the best things about the movie for me is these guys aren't superheroes, and that's what's so special about them. They're not superpower. Bullets don't bounce off of them. They're normal people just like you and me who have chosen to dedicate themselves, who choose to lay their lives on the line every single time they go into something like this for us. that's what makes them extraordinary. And so to show the both sides of it, that they're incredibly heroic but also incredibly sensitive people who have families, that's the beauty of what we need to get out there.